Hi, I'm Claudio Poses, artist for Dungeons and Dragons and The Witcher RPG, and you're listening to Morrus Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk.
This week, Morrus PJ and Jessica cover all the RPG news of the week, including the cover reveal of the Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook 2024, what's new in the D&D core rules, the Adventure Time RPG joining the Million Dollar Crowdfunding Club, and more. Plus, a brand new sketch about facing down a classic dungeon puzzle. This week on Morrus's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk.
I've exterminated things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion because I exterminated them. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate right before I exterminated them. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears that have been exterminated. Time to die.
I don't know why he saved my life. Maybe in those last moments he loved life more than...
Exterminate! Exterminate!
All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morrus's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk.
Hello, and welcome to Morrus's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk. I am Russ, aka Morrus, or Morrus, aka Russ, and with me this week is...
PJ Coffey from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. Russ as ever, I am delighted to be here. Now, some blame the sun for the strange lights in the sky that left the Northern Hemisphere gazing up in awe and wonder. But those of you who listen to this podcast know better. You know it's in fact the work of the one, the only!
It's me, Jessica from EM Publishing, who is responsible for the solar storm, obviously.
Apparently so.
Yes.
Apparently so.
Such is my power.
I
will not.
Thus mote it be.
Yes, exactly. And if you're listening to this online, people on the internet would not lie to you.
No. And everything on the internet is true.
It's true.
Yeah. Either that or nothing on the internet is true. One of those two things is true. There's no middling ground.
No middle ground.
No.
No middle ground. Did you see the Northern Lights where you were over the weekend then?
I didn't see them actually, no.
Oh.
I failed to see them.
I had a look. It's quite cool.
Were they good?
Yeah, they were really bright where I was. I'm lucky because I live in an apartment and I have a 3 stories up and I have a balcony, so I was able to go out on there and look at them and you could see it quite clearly. Yeah.
Very purple.
Yeah, it was like pinky purple haze and sometimes it came through quite clear. So yeah, that was cool. Felt very sci-fi.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably Vecna or something. That's what I reckon it was.
You think it's Vecna? I hope
some kind of multiversal thing. I don't know.
Something multiversal. Well, that's a nice segue into Dungeons and Dragons, multiverse-ness.
Yeah, because there is some Dungeons and Dragons news. Should we leave that till later, though, and start with the other news? And because there's lots of D&D news.
Okay, sure. I have some news that's not D&D news.
Okay.
As the host of the Not D&D podcast, that is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like a bit of Blade Runner, and Free League have the Blade Runner tabletop RPG, which is out now and available. The box set is very nice, and they have the other books and things in that range. But in the original core books, you kind of play as a Blade Runner, so you're going out, hunting the replicants. But they have a new upcoming Kickstarter, which is where it's called the Replicant Rebellion, where, guess what, you get to play a replicant. Yeah, be a replicant and more like running a replicant underground sort of rebellion. So you could be a person, you don't have to be a replicant, you could be a person that's, part of the underground rebellion helping them, but it gives you the option to be that as well. You could be someone that's just trying to do papers to keep people safe, or you could be people that's actively trying to, politically do things. But yeah, so there's loads of it, and the book has a history of everything going on, information in the universe if you're not familiar with it. It's got GM notes on how to run a good Replicant Underground campaign, different player archetypes and things like that. So yeah,
That's
that
a
looks cool.
Kickstarter, is it?
That's coming to the Kickstarter, yes. The pre-launch page is up now, but it's going to go live at the end of the month, so 28th of May, or May 28th, as the Americans would say.
Nice.
But they have an asset pack in it, which has all the clues and stuff, and if it's anything like their starter box set, that's really good, because it's a very investigative game. There's loads of like clues and handouts and stuff, and they make really nice quality components for these. So
a good prop.
Yeah,
it's worth a lot.
It's great. I mean, if you're playing in person, I think they do a digital version as well, of course.
Yeah.
But I know the physical ones that I have, I really like. So
something
there's
you can
one to look out for.
Very exciting.
Yes. So that's some non D&D news.
Is Blade Runner and Alien, aren't they supposed to be in the same universe?
I don't know if it's officially stated, but someone has hypothesized that.
There's definitely connecting tissue, isn't there?
Yeah, I think people have said they could be. I don't think there's been a film which definitely confirms that, but they very much could be.
Yeah. Anyway, you know Adventure Time?
I do.
The cartoon.
I wouldn't say I know it. I've absorbed a lot of knowledge about it because I'm on the internet and people keep talking about it.
Well, you probably know more about it than I do then.
Well, that's
almost certainly true.
My favourite character is Lemon Grab.
Yeah. So we have mentioned the Kickstarter before for the Adventure Time role-playing game, 5e, D&D 5e powered.
Yes.
The Kickstarter is over now, but it has slipped into the $1 million tabletop RPG. No surprise, it was obviously going to, but the $1 million tabletop RPG Kickstarter Club, making the third one in the last month to do that.
Yeah.
There's a whole spate of them that's just literally happened in the last 4 weeks or so. $1 million tabletop RPG Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
1.25 million or something like that. I think it's it ended even higher than that. Let's have a look. It ended on 1.25 million pounds, $1.5 million.
There we go. Well, we had there was 10 of them in 2023, and we've had how many so far this year then?
There were 4 so far this year. So
kind of on track to do around 10 this year again, or
Yeah, so for this year, what we got? We got 2020. So there was the MCDM RPG from Matt Colville and MCDM Productions back in January.
Yep, that was on Backer Kit, yep.
Yeah. And then there was a big old gap all the way through to the last month or so. And then recently we've had the Field Guide to Floral Dragons from Headpoint Press. And we have had Monsters of Drakenheim from the Dungeon Dudes.
Which obviously will have had a big boost by being compatible with D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
On the get-go.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got Adventure Time.
There we go. It's interesting because I heard some industry places of people saying they wonder if the boom of TTRPGs and tabletop in general is starting to deflate a little bit. But I don't know, things like this are showing...
Do you know what? I can't give you any data whatsoever on this. It's just completely a gut feeling. It feels a bit like it's slowing a bit to me.
That's what a lot of people have been saying.
Yeah,
so maybe it's just there's a few people, the big hats, doing stuff still, but...
Actually, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe... I don't know. It just feels a little bit... Not like massively.
Yeah.
But it does feel a little bit to me. I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. That's just a gut feeling.
Well,
There's no data behind that whatsoever.
We'll get data later in the year, because we'll get the reports from, what's it called?
Yes. I know what you mean. The big...
ICV2.
Yeah, that's the one. So maybe when we get that at different points in the year, we'll be able to have some figures next to that.
I mean, I will note that, much though we don't we have to be aware of, things like the context in which we're working.
Yeah.
We realised that everyone being indoors going, oh god, we're all doomed, was probably a big boost to the tabletop gaming industry.
Yeah.
Equally, the massively increased prices are going to hit people's discretionary budgets. And whilst it's wild that I'm saying this, tabletop RPGs aren't essential to your life.
What?
They are.
I know. Controversy erupts.
Actually, I argue they are quite essential to my life.
They're essential to my life, yeah.
But
I'd have a lot of problems if they didn't exist.
They're pretty key to mine. But, yes, but there are already quite a lot of tabletop RPGs out there.
Yeah, you don't need to buy more, because if you have
You do need to
tabletop
buy more.
RPG.
Keep buying more. Stop telling people not to buy
No,
more.
but if we're in a cost of living crisis, and if you can't afford to buy new TTRPG content, you can continue to run games.
If you have a
using
choice between
that which you
buying
have.
an RPG or cheese, buy the RPG.
Oh, that's quite
Do
a
not
difficult
take
choice.
financial dietary advice from this podcast.
No.
I didn't say you had to eat
Especially-
the RPG.
Do you have
Yeah,
to
but
eat
you might
the
need cheese to live. Just saying.
That's
I do
a really
like
good
cheese, to be fair. That is a difficult call.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And the Eunice cheese didn't like me. I still like it. But there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
Hey, talking of, you mentioned a second ago, Peter, Dungeons and Dragonheim being on
The Dungeon Dudes. Yeah.
D&D Beyond. MCDM's Where Evil Lives is now on D&D Beyond as well.
Oh, not a Dungeons and Dragons game, if I recall.
Yeah, it's a
okay.
book of epic dungeons and deadly boss fights, and Flea Mortals, their big book of monsters, hit
Right.
D&D Beyond as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's more of this sort of third-party stuff appearing on D&D Beyond.
Oh, marvellous.
But basically, it's all the people who've done Million Dollar Kickstarters.
Yes, yeah.
It's like Wizards is going through that list and grabbing all the
Inviting
people
them.
who've done Million Dollar Kickstarters and asking them to come on D&D Beyond. Because they've had Ghostfire, Hit Point Press, MCDM, Cobalt Press. Have they done a $1 million one? I can't remember.
They
They
must. I'd be surprised if they hadn't.
They've done a lot of Kickstarters.
Was Tales
and
from the Valiant $1 million?
if any of them was, it would be that one. But I'm not sure. Oh, yes, there we go. Tales of the Valiant, 1.1 million
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought it
in
did.
June 2023.
I thought it would be $1 million sort of one. It
Yeah.
seems like the sort of product that people were wanting at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So that seems to be their strategy at the moment. Go for the people who've done the big Kickstarters and get their stuff on D&D Beyond.
Well, it makes sense. Like, a lot of people like this stuff. That seems like a...
I do wonder what the terms are, what the royalty split is. I've literally no idea. And nobody said for some reason, so I guess it must be secret or an NDA or something.
I imagine there's an
Otherwise
NDA.
people would have mentioned it.
Yeah, I imagine there
it's
is.
super secret, but
Which isn't completely unreasonable with business practices to...
Well, it might be that each one's negotiated separately.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily want to know what someone else is paying. Well, you might want to know, but...
Why Wizards
doesn't
don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the same reason that, employers don't want you sharing how much you make with your co-workers.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're familiar with the concepts of monopoly, which is a seller's market. In this case, we might be looking at a little bit of a monopsony, which is a buyer's market.
Oh, I've learned a new word. Is that a real word?
Yeah, it's a real word.
Is there a board game
Monopsony.
with it?
Monopsony.
Monopsony.
Sadly, there's no board game, there's no song about moving coal. No, you just get a monopsony. So D&D Beyond, massively popular platform, access to it. You might get a smaller share of the pie, but the pie is kind of huge.
But you have access to the pie.
The difference between a pie you might make at home and one you might get from Costco, which I hope has an international flair to it.
Yes, I am unable to make pie, so I wouldn't know how to do a good job of that. So I'll probably buy it from Costco, to be honest.
Maybe
And
you should
so
buy
that's
it.
fine.
Oh, I'm also not advising people, for the avoidance of doubt, to buy their pie from D&D Beyond either. Remember, earlier I did say you should not take financial dietary advice from this podcast.
What advice are you going to give us, PJ? Do you have any TTRPG news?
Well,
Financial advice, dietary advice. I just want to know what the list of advice we're not allowed to give. Financial advice, dietary, medical advice.
Yes.
Or we can give. I'm sure we can give medical advice, can't we?
You absolutely cannot.
I'm sure we can.
I feel pretty...
Russ, you can give it as long as it's clear it's coming from you and not from me.
As your business manager, I'm going to advise you don't do that.
Legal advice.
I think our lawyers would suggest we don't do that as well. And we don't have time to contact them to confirm, but I'm pretty confident they would be like, please don't do that.
All right, should we talk about something else instead? Do you two know what a Neopet is?
I absolutely do.
Good. Tell me what a Neopet is.
Oh, well, what a time. It goes back to the early days of the internet. And
Earlier, to be honest.
when I was a young child. So basically, it's a website where you had little digital online pets on this web browser. And it was technically free to play, so you had your little pet, but you could buy stuff for them by doing little mini games or stuff, or using real money to buy in-game currency to like get little outfits for them and get different paintbrushes, so you could like paint the pets different colours. It was all ethical and fine. So you basically logged in every day and you could like feed them and play with them. I think you could battle with them as well, almost Pokemon style, but I didn't do that because I thought that was mean. But yeah, it was great, and it's still around, I believe.
Okay, well, there is going to be an official tabletop RPG of Neopets.
Wow.
Okay.
Tell me
Niche
more.
market. But Jessica, just for the listeners at home, is looking the most excited I have ever seen.
Well, I think
I've seen
it's
her less
very
excited about
nostalgic
meeting new dogs.
it's very nostalgic for people my age.
Yeah.
So it's
21.
it's the 25th anniversary of the launch of the Neopets website this year. So the upcoming tabletop game it's a D20 based gameplay system.
Interesting.
And you a classless D20 based game system. You explore the world of Neopia, experience the game's fun and goofy gameplay mechanics, and there'll be campaign modules released for it, and the first one's going to be called The Fall of Fairyland, and it's going to hit Kickstarter on May the 31st.
There's a lot of lore on Neopets as well, so I think it's ripe for a tabletop RPG.
Okay. I believe you.
Thank you. That's really validating.
I know nothing else. Nothing else I can say about this.
When is that? What's happened? Dates?
Jessica needs more details, Russ.
Time,
More
date?
Kickstarter May the 31st.
That's quite soon.
So we're
It's
off
quite
to
soon,
UK Games Expo.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Maybe.
So there you go.
you'll be sat there pressing refresh on your phone on the way.
As Neopets is still alive, I don't know if my account would still exist and there's just some, like, a pet graveyard of these abandoned online pets. You know, like...
Or maybe your pets are still there and just, like, really old.
That's
Maybe.
brilliant.
You know, like when you play Animal Crossing or a game like that, which is real time, and you come back and everyone's like, where have you been? So I wonder if that will happen.
This is not an experience I have had, but I could well imagine it'd be a bit.
Do you ever have a Tamagotchi or something?
Left
it in a drawer?
Tamagotchis were not in our price range when I was growing up.
I didn't have one either.
Well, I'll know what to get you both for your next birthdays then.
Please
Please
don't.
not, but thank you.
All right, Furbies instead.
No, that's okay. We have a special...
I am sure my dogs will appreciate a Furby.
They would destroy it in a minute.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a special section in my attic for creepy shit.
Oh, that Furby would go really well in creepy shit section, yeah.
Exactly. It would go with like the little weird statue that I got with a... there was like a postal thing, and I used it to play small tricks for my wife, because it sent her invites and stuff to the
Lovely.
King letter. And the final thing was like a lovely little packing crate, which had a scary looking statue in it.
Wow.
Sorry. I digress.
No, that's fine. I'd also recommend adding some taxidermy to that collection, if you're interested in such things. So,
Good to know.
as somebody who owns taxidermy. Love it.
So, another one of these. Can you explain to me what this thing is? Do you know what Dead by Daylight is?
Wasn't that a computer game about zombies?
Apparently some kind of video game type thing. A video game? I think it's a video game, yes.
That's
God, I know nothing. I know nothing
Did
about
we
anything.
talk about this last week?
I don't know, did we?
Making it up?
Dead by Daylight, 2016 asymmetric survival horror game.
Okay, well, there's going to be like some D&D stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be a Vecna.
Oh, I know this one. Okay, so Dead by... Yeah, I've heard of this one, actually. This one is... It's an asymmetric game because one player is the killer and the other people are the hapless others who are trying to run away rather than being hunted and impaled on a sacrificial hook. Oh, grim.
Oh, yes, it's like an online... Oh, yeah, I have seen this. Yeah.
And the survivors have to avoid being caught and power up exit gates by working together to fix 5 generators.
Oh, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
They have
because
loads of
Vecna-
different themes.
Vecna is the killer and will be voiced by Matt Mercer.
Oh, nice.
And there's going to be other stuff. Vecna's spells, magic items. I don't know.
Including
stuff.
the hand of Vector, the eye Vector, of course,
Yeah.
that potent magic item, the head of it. So, that's actually sounds like quite
A
a good
good mash.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I've not played that game. I get
I have not.
very
In fact,
emotionally involved in games I play, so when I play horror games, I get incredibly stressed.
I had not even heard of that game, let alone played it.
I think I've seen people playing, but I was like, I don't know if I'd be any good at it, because I think I would just run and hide in a corner and be an ineffective teammate. Because, yeah.
All right, more news. Someone give me some news.
I already gave you one. I'm going to tag PJ in.
Yeah, sure.
They look thrilled.
If you haven't got any, just make some up, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yes, actually, I do have some news that I completely forgot about, which is that the third-party designers for Level Up Advanced 5th Edition have produced not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 stunning bundles of excellent products. It's basically, there's, I don't know, about 12 authors who all, sort of chat away together to ensure that we produce quality projects, and also because game design is very, very, very lonely, or can be. But sometimes you just need to nerd out with people. Anyway, we've all got various books out there, and so if you want to pick up books, there are some available. There's a wide range of prices from, I think it's $75 is the most expensive one.
Wow.
But you're getting at that price point, 4 tomes. Proper weighty books, things like the Manual of Adventurous Resources and Paranormal Powers, I think it's called, by Steampunk Rachel Williamson. Sorry, Rachel, if I've got your book's name wrong, but yeah. Anyway, that and a couple of others, they're on sale, all the way down to the $15 mark, which is some rather cute little subclasses like the Little Ghostbusters one by Clark Peterson and some extra stuff by Lars and so forth. So yeah, it's got, I think it's something like 20% off, so I've been telling people about it. But, gentle listener, if you would like to get in, then fill your boots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, other news. What have we got? We have got... So...
Everything else I have is Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, you've got something
Yeah, I was going to say Munchkin's Shadowrun, which isn't really RPG news. But well, it's Shadowrun related. Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but this is a card game, not an RPG. But
so Steve Jackson is just
Munchkin Shadowrun is coming out. It's available for pre-order. Mm-hmm. You can pick it up from the Munchkin website, munchkin.game. You can pre-order it. It's $39.95. So Munchkin is fun, and if you like Shadowrun, which I hear there are many people that do, there's a whole Munchkin set that you can. It's very colourful, very nice.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you'd expect.
Punch, Grenade, Rigger, all these cards in it. It's coming out in September.
I think Munchkin's one of those good gift games for somebody if you don't know them that well. They're a gamer and they like Shadowrun. You can be like, here you go.
It's a fun, easy game to get into as well.
Yeah.
Even people that don't play a lot of card games and stuff kind of get into Munchkin quite easily.
Yeah, it's very and it's not that deep. It doesn't have to last that long, and yeah, I do like it. I haven't played Munchkin in years. And like 10 years.
And the art will be great and hilarious.
It is, and it's full of in jokes and
yeah.
So I think that's really the value Munchkin has for me. It's I enjoy looking at the cards and listening to jokes because the game itself is
light.
A thing that exists. Yes.
It's it's not the same as Cards Against Humanity, but it's very much that vibe of, sure, we're playing a game, but it's not,
Yeah.
Could I play it while astoundingly drunk? Yes. Marvellous. Would I be better at it whilst astoundingly drunk? Interesting question. We should do some sort of
that might be true for many tabletop RPGs, to be honest.
I
might have a better time. Maybe not everyone else at the table.
As you're waving a bottle of mead around while shouting, I cast Fireball! Jessica, you're playing a barbarian. Fireball! As you sweep the table.
Rules. Rule of cool. Let me do it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I think we should quickly mention what we're doing on Friday the 31st of May at 3 p.m.
Yes.
Are we doing something exciting?
No.
Oh.
We are live recording this very podcast.
Yes.
If you are at the UK Games Expo in Birmingham, United Kingdom, at the end of the month on the 31st of May, you too can experience what we're experiencing right now.
I've made a decision, an executive decision. The sketch, I'm going to write it for 4 people.
Yeah.
And we're going to let one audience member be in the sketch.
Okay.
How exciting is that? It'll be us 3 and an audience
I wonder
member.
if anyone will come now. They'll be like, oh no.
Yeah, everyone's just
it will be voluntary. We won't make you. Well, only if people that want to. But yeah, that sounds fun.
Someone has to volunteer though, because it'll be written for 4 people when we've already got the
I will bring some sort of pool noodle or something. We'll just beat Russ with if he attempts to get people on stage without them explicitly agreeing to it.
Consent. Yeah, no, that sounds fun. But yeah, we'll be recording, so it'll be 3 p.m. on the Friday. It's free to attend, so it's a chance to have a sit down, walking around the halls. It's in the Piazza Suite,
Nice.
which is like in the food court bit when you come out of Hall 3, but there will be maps at the UK Games Expo, or you can ask a member of staff where the Piazza Suites are. It sounds like pizza, but it's not.
There's no pizza.
No, we're not serving pizza there. There is pizza in the food hall area, though. So if you
get a
wanted
pizza and
to, if
take
you
it.
wanted to get some pizza and then come over to the Piazza, you'd be very welcome.
Oh no, don't eat
Pizza at
pizza
the
in front of
podcast.
me. That's not fair.
I'll be
You
fine
can
with
watch
it.
Russ
Bring
draw.
bring
It's quite-
pizza as long as you give me a piece. There we go.
There we go. But yeah, so we'll be
Russ
recording
would
that
like
Friday.
about 12 to 14 pieces of pizza. Good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, which day was it?
Friday, the 31st of May,
Oh, at what time?
at 3 p.m.
Where is it?
in the Piazza Suite.
Well, thank you, Jessica. You've answered all my questions.
You're welcome. And there'll be a link in the show notes with all the details.
Huzzah.
And we're doing loads of other stuff and things at UK Games Expo. We
Yeah.
are doing demos of Split the Horde, our card game, which will be launching later this year at the stand. So you can stop by whenever and stop by for a game. And we've got the designer Mark Kenobi there. He'll be running games
Yes.
throughout the weekend. And we're also running tabletop RPGs in the tabletop RPG area of the convention as well, including myself and PJ, who are running games.
Yes. I've signed up to run some games. I need to get my stuff together and put a blurb for another game, for my own stuff.
Nice.
We'll
But
We'll be
yes.
selling books as well.
And we have a stand where we're selling books, and we're selling the What's Old is New starter box set,
It's very pretty.
which has recently gone out live on our website as well. So if you missed the Kickstarter, the crowdfunder for that, it's now up on the website, or you can pick it up and avoid any shipping. At the UK
It's so
Games Expo.
pretty. It's
very
very
pretty. It's
Very
nice.
pretty.
And we're running games of it at the UK Games Expo, so you can sit down, have a game, decide if you like it. And any of the games that you play with our GMs, they'll give you a little voucher code for a little discount at the stand. So, yeah. And I'm running a game on the Friday evening. So, and some people, human beings, I assume, have booked on to play already. So that's exciting.
Nice.
I'll be running from the Level Up starter box.
Same adventure you were running at AirCon.
Yes, I'm very consistent. Well, I like this one because it is just a big exploration in the woods, and people are free to go to different places.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So it's
That's what they say,
easy.
apparently.
It's
They say that.
easy. My biggest struggle with GMing, or the thing I think I'm weakest at and I'm learning to do, is pacing, which is important in a one shot. And this adventure makes it easy to pace it because there's like 7 or 8 different encounters there could be. You want to get people to the one at the end. And so if they go really quick, you can just throw more encounters at them. And if they spend 40 minutes trying to fish a hammer out of a river, they have less encounters. But yeah,
That's
so
a
time
fun
wasting.
conversation. That's what you say your weakest GMing thing is. I would say mine is NPCs and voices, definitely.
yeah. Well, I don't
Emotions,
know if it's
that is.
actually my weakness. It's one of the things I'm concerned about. Maybe people that played in my games will be like, actually, Jess is weak as GM thing as something else. But yeah, that's the.
What do you say yours is, Peter?
Probably using NPCs
Mm.
because I don't necessarily. I find things like trying to do multiple NPCs at the game table can be quite challenging, and sometimes people want to have big conversations. So that and adding weird stuff into my games. Like I've got a bit, but I don't add enough. I need more weird.
Define weird. What do you mean?
Well, I'm working on ways to enable high level play, which would include wild magic. So
Okay.
the higher level spells you cast, the more likely you are to make things worse for yourself rapidly. But I've got some preliminary notes, and I thought, I've got a portal into the abyss going by. Let's throw some magic in. And I just gone through the bits of wild magic that I've already done. So we were throwing weird stuff at them. So the players were like, whenever I speak now, it's like a little bubble comes from my mouth, and when it pops, that's when the sound comes out for each word. And another one got a beard of rainbow feathers, which they were absolutely delighted by. And another one found themselves levitating 6 inches off the ground, which has a monk they did not enjoy, but which everyone else found hilarious.
That'd be interesting.
Sort of, adding weird effects in.
Yeah.
And yeah, like maybe borrowing a bit from things like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you've got like a whale falling out the sky, but instead of falling out the sky and going splat and stinky whale everywhere, it collapses into a cloud of obsidian butterflies. So, yeah, weird shit, like I say.
Okay, fair enough.
My language is terrible today. I do apologise.
Gosh, I'm...
Mortified.
Yeah, I don't mind this one. Carry on.
Yeah, well.
Really?
I feel like we've been in this dungeon forever.
Well, they don't call it a mega dungeon for nothing.
I know, right? We're, it's 11 levels deep now?
At least. I lost count of the upside down. Whoever thought reversing the gravity was a good idea.
Oh, I did enjoy the cheese maze, though.
Cheese.
I could have done without the smell.
Well, I could have done without the bouncy castle level. I'm not designed for such things.
Well, we must be nearing the end. What lies at the bottom of this dread catacomb?
Ahead, a chamber.
What is this? 2 doors, with a statue before each.
Oh, there's an inscription on the wall. What does it say?
In a dungeon den, 2 doors are locked. One offers cake, the other dark fate. 2 guardians stand, one truth, one lie. To save the cake, choose on who to rely. One question is yours, ask it wisely. Your chosen guard will answer precisely.
That's the worst poem I ever heard.
What does it mean?
Something about cake?
Wait. I know this one. This is the famous 2-door riddle.
A riddle, you say?
I'm still thinking about the cake.
Yes, these 2 doors here. Now, one offers cake, the other dark fate. So one, it seems, leads to, cake, and the other to, death. And only those 2 stone guardians know which is which.
I mean, of those options, I'm firmly on the side of cake.
What sort of?
Does it matter?
Of course it matters. Cake is a broad umbrella.
Mate, the other option is death. Whatever type of cake it is, it's better than death.
Debatable.
Well, you're welcome to death. More cake for me, let's go.
Not so fast, my friends. First we must determine which door leads to cake.
And which door leads to death?
Oh, well, didn't the wall say the statues no? Oh, here, I'll just ask them.
No, stop.
What? What is it?
Now remember, one always tells the truth, the other always lies.
Okay, so I'll ask the other one which tells the truth.
Well, that's the riddle. We don't know which is which.
So, we just ask a calibration question.
A what now?
Calibration. Ask what colour your hat is. Then, its answer will reveal which guardian it is.
Not so simple, my friends. Remember, it says, one question is yours. Ask it wisely. We only get to ask one.
One each?
Unclear.
Fine. I will ask about the hat, then you ask about the doors.
Oh, wait, there is an asterisk. One question is yours, asterisk.
Oh, yes, a footnote. That's it. It's very small.
Okay, it says, terms and conditions apply. 1 question per party. Refunds will not be given. May contain nuts.
Nuts. I knew it.
So it seems we only get the 1 question between us. Well, very well. We must choose it carefully.
You know, I think I know this one. So you have to ask the left guardian what it would say if you ask the right guardian what's behind its door?
No, that's not it. I remember it too. You ask one of the guardians what is not behind the other guardian's door.
No. We need to ask one of the guardians whether or not the other guardian tells the truth.
But that won't work. What if it lies?
How about we ask the right guardian whether the left guardian would say its door leads to cake?
We just ask the left guardian whether the right guardian is a liar.
Wait, it says 1 question, right?
Right.
I've got it.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. It's simple when you think about it. stand back.
Very well. I put my trust in you, my friend.
I also. Ask your question.
Okay. Greetings, bold guardian. I ask you this question.
Ask thy question, and I shall answer. The anticipation is killing me.
Indeed, I eagerly await the unveiling of the question which will decide our fate.
Our very lives are in our friend's hands.
I have faith in our brave companion.
Right. Guardian, here is my question.
Ask thy question.
Do you like cake?
Malak the Maleficent here. If, like me, you're enjoying this podcast, please consider subscribing on Patreon for exclusive bonus content every week and the warm, fuzzy feeling of knowing you are helping to keep the show going. Subscribe at patreon.com/Morrus. There, I said it. Can you stop staring at me like that now? The things I do. All right. Don't forget, patreon.com/Morrus. Can I go now?
We've got some D&D news.
Oh boy, do we.
Oh, yes, we do.
I don't know that much
Because-
about it. I've only seen the headlines, so I'm excited for you to tell me all about it.
There's a load of stuff all about the upcoming Player's Handbook for the new edition of D&D, the 2024 edition of D&D. And it all hit Game Informer this week, who, in their print magazine, have a big sort of like, it's like a 5 or 6 page article all about the upcoming edition, with lots of previews of art and little tidbits of information, new information. But the big thing was the new cover, the cover for the Player's Handbook.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
So the first bit of information to come out was that cover of the Player's Handbook. Have you guys seen it? Have you seen this cover yet?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
I'm looking at it now on EN World with the you're talking about the main cover, not the alternate one, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah.
there's like a dragon
Big
leering,
gold dragon.
looming over a party of adventurers. And it looks like some kobolds on the right as well, yelling at them.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what they are, but yeah.
Look like dragony type.
Kobolds or something, yeah.
Something dragony.
Yeah. I mean, see, it's interesting, that party of adventurers is an old school party of adventurers. So,
Alright.
Strongheart the paladin, and Mercion the cleric, Elkhorn the dwarf fighter, and Moliver the thief.
Ooh.
There's been toys of those, and they've been appearing in, I think, like Tasha's or something like that, or that Witchlight one, something. They appeared in something recently. I remember I was talking about it last year.
Ooh.
They're one on the front cover, which means there's definitely doing some old sort of like nods to the sort of old school players.
Mm-hmm.
They're keeping that up.
Nice.
What do you think of the art though? I like it. I like that dragon a lot.
I do like it. I noticed online, because the world we live in, people online immediately went, is this AI art? And there were lots of people speculating.
And there's people that are
drawing
taking it out and circled
circles
little bits of it as proof of, and it's like, oh, it's getting to the point now where
it's a bit of a witch hunt, isn't
every
it?
artist constantly has to defend and show their works in progress and stuff.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, on the Game Informer article, they've kind of preempted that a bit, because they've shown some works in progress of the artist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we know what's going to happen. Let's just put that in the article anyway.
So it is drawn by an artist, and they've shown
Yes.
their process, and it's not AI. So, but
Correct.
I just wanted to address that because I've seen online that a lot of
It's just
people
going to
have
happen
been
with everything.
speculating.
Everything.
Well,
I mean, in part, it's due to the fact that the AI art slurification devices were trained on a lot of Magic the Gathering and the D&D data, and this is the house style of Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, a lot of AI quote art unquote does look like this because of where it was sewn from. So,
Yeah.
you know, so it's in the style of what it's trained on. It's not
But yeah,
entirely a
that's
surprise. Yeah, I mean, I can see that people might look at it, but He doesn't scream AI art to me, but...
No, it doesn't pitch me at all, no. But, yeah, I mean, that's... we put the link in the show notes so people can have a quick look at it, because I realise we're talking about a picture on an audio medium. But basically, we've got a big gold dragon's face looming in the background.
Yeah.
And then we've got a party of adventurers facing the camera.
Yeah.
Basically, swords drawn and axes drawn and stuff. And then off to the right, we've got, as Jess said, what looks like a bunch of kobolds or something coming in from the right.
Yeah, and at the bottom of the
it looks like they're surrounded, sort of thing. Yeah,
surrounded by dragons and dragon minions.
Well, there's a gold dragon, so it'll be on their side. So I don't know why they're worried about the kobolds. Really, they've got a gold dragon.
I mean, it has a very Chinese look to it, in that it has sort of like a flowy look rather than the...
Well, old school gold dragons didn't have wings.
Okay.
They do these days, and it looks like to me this one hasn't. I'm not 100% sure, but you can only really see its head and neck. But
you got where the shoulders to be, and there should be like some wings somewhere.
It does look like a long, thin sort of neck, like almost like a worm with legs type thing.
I love that face. It's kind of like almost like a lion's face.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's got a lionish kind of look to it.
I guess it's like that sort of the... Because straight on dragons' faces often do look a little bit goofy.
It does not look goofy.
This does not look goofy. It's definitely got the leonine look and those forward-facing eyes, which is typical of predators, as opposed to other dragons which have eyes which face to either side, which is typical in prey animals. So obviously that does imply that there is something that eats dragons out there. Exciting times. Possibly
adventurers.
But yeah, it's like I would say we've got like from left to right, we've got a red-headed, maybe human, maybe half-elf cleric. Then we have probably a paladin. They've got a sword with glowing runes on it. Then at the back...
Well, these are specific characters, so...
Oh, okay, yeah.
We know who they are.
If you're not familiar with them, then this is what I'm seeing. I say paladin because they've got like a full face...
Yeah, Strongheart the Paladin.
Okay, yeah, so if you know what Strongheart the Paladin looks like, then that's it.
But someone is new, because apparently there's a drow mage, and they were not part of that OG party.
Ringle Run the Wizard would be the mage in that party, and Ringle Run was on one of the first edition AD&D player handbooks. He's a big wizard with a big flowing Merlin-looking, Gandalf-looking wizard with a big flowing white beard and stuff. Yeah. So he's not on it, but yeah, we've got a drow mage. I assume it's a mage as opposed to a cleric or a
sorcerer.
Or a sorcerer, yeah.
They are floating up in the air.
Yeah. But we got a drow with glowing things.
Glowing eyes. One hand is glowing with some sort of fiery, fire, but contained within like a whip-like flame. And then on the other side, they've got almost it looks like stars, which are throwing out blue lights up and around. So all I can say is someone's going to have a bad day.
Do you know what is interesting is the trade dress has changed.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look at that cover, assuming that's not just some words whacked onto the actual, assuming that's the actual cover, it's the actual cover art.
Yeah.
So normally you would have, rather than Dungeons and Dragons, you'd have D&D at the top in red. And then you'd have the title of the book. Then you'd have that swash, that red swash that comes in on them.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the bottom you'd have a line of text talking about this is the book for the world's greatest role-playing game. So they've changed all that around.
Yeah.
So it's a much plainer look. In terms of the text and the trade dress.
Yeah. It's less busy for a start.
Yeah. And they've got Dungeons and Dragons written in full rather than just D&D. Yeah.
It just occurred to me that there's probably someone playing D&D and they don't actually know it's called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, maybe.
No, come on.
Yeah. So this book's going to be 384 pages.
Nice.
All three of the books, the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual, they will all be 384 pages, and they will all be $49.99.
Right. $150.
Yeah, well, three big hardcover books, it's always been quite a big buy-in, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But they are being spread over a year nearly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not a year, but 9 months or so, because the Monster Manual doesn't come out until February, does it?
Yeah.
So it's not like you buy them all at once.
Just time for the 51st anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, the Monster Manual 2024 is in fact coming out in February 2025.
this will be available in the UK sometime like August.
Yeah, August 2026 or something, yeah. That's not the only cover, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there is an alternative art cover.
Yes, the alternative cover is also gorgeous, and this is going to be the one that's going to be available at local game stores. And this one was revealed by Polygon, the website Polygon. And this one is by Wiley Beckett, and it features a party, a fighter, a wizard, a cleric, and a rogue gathered round a friendly gold dragon sharing some tea. It's a very peaceful scene as opposed to the kind of like fighty scene that the regular cover is. This is kind of like a camp scene.
The dragon is heating
and then
the tea.
You can actually see the dragon more clearly there. No wings, look.
Yeah,
no
it
wings.
is more like you said, PJ. It's like a sort of more like a long, thin sort of Chinese-style dragon.
Yeah.
And it's heating the tea for them with its.
It's a very nice
That's
cover.
cute.
I do like
I do like that, and the
cover.
back is decorated with 50 as well to, commemorate that. And
that is peak Chinese dragon. It's like, oh well, we're gonna have some tea.
Yeah. The gold dragons always were. Somehow they morphed into the more sort of Western winged dragon over the years, but early on they were like that. So it looks like maybe they're reverting back to the old style.
Or maybe they'll have different types of dragon look different, which
would be interesting.
But that cover is good. Of the two, I really, really like the alternate cover, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them both. I think they're great. But of the two, I really like the alternate cover.
Yes.
I think that's gorgeous.
I think the alternative one is just like you got the rogue just chilling out in the coil of the dragon. This is quite a peaceful looking scene, really.
Assuming all three books have a similar cover, I think it's going to look like a gorgeous set, the alternate version.
It will, yeah.
Yes. Those are nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is all quite an arty kind of bit of news because I think that the article in Game Informer was very art centric. I think it's actually entitled "The Art of D&D." I think I'm not 100% sure.
That seems appropriate.
There's lots and lots of art preview, but one of the other pieces which I also really like is an interior piece. And it features the 1980s Dungeons & Dragons cartoon heroes, that party.
Yes.
But they're grown up. They're not kids anymore. And it's not all of them. So we're missing Eric the Cavalier and Udi the Unicorn is not there.
Yep.
There is a unicorn on the wall, though.
Yes, there's a carving of a unicorn on the wall, which I guess is kind of a nod to it. And there's an owlbear climbing over the tomb they're about to enter, looking down at them.
And we're also missing Sheila, the thief.
Yeah, well, no, she's invisible. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, wearing her invisible cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely there. But, yes, I really like that piece as well. I like the style of that piece. I like that a lot.
What I like is the more you look, the more creatures that you see. Like, there's a little...
Yeah, there's lots of things in there, isn't there?
What do you call it?
A mimic?
Yes, a mimic. I forgot the word. Sorry, I'm quite tired. There's a vase is secretly a mimic, I believe.
Yeah, there's some little fairy things coming up the steps.
There's some goblinoids on the bottom right.
Yeah, there's a tiny little fey dragon on the left there.
Yeah.
A bear owl or an owl bear, depending on your preference.
We got the goblins. There's the unicorn in the background.
We've got some bats flying out of the tomb.
Yeah,
there's quite a lot going on here.
Quite a lot going on there, yeah. But it's a lovely piece of art. I like it. I do like it. I approve.
The heroes do look cool, though.
It does make me a little bit sad.
Why?
Why?
Well, because it implies they never got home.
Maybe they chose not to go home.
Maybe, yeah. No, why not?
Maybe they went home and came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they got sucked back into the game as adults, A sort of Jumanji 2 vibe or something,
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't they? Wasn't there an unreleased final episode where they did get home?
Pass. Maybe.
And I think some fans made it.
There was a fan-made one, that brought it to conclusion. I haven't seen it.
Because the script existed or something like that, but the episode never got made or something.
Yeah. I think we talked about this on the podcast like a couple of years ago, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So also we got some information about the Dungeon Master's Guide and Greyhawk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I was interested about Greyhawk because I don't know as much about it. The only thing I know is Greyhawking, which is when you loot the corpses for any and everything. And I assume that's because this setting encourages such behaviour.
Well, it was like the original D&D setting, I guess. So back when D&D was pretty much just, dungeon crawling and...
You gain levels with money, so it makes sense to pick up every rotten carrot and every broken loot to try and sell to the trader.
But it looks like the Dungeon Master's Guide has an entire chapter which is a sample setting, and that setting will be Greyhawk, making it kind of like I wouldn't say the default setting in any way, but like it's the sample setting they present you.
Not the default setting, just the one in the official books.
Yeah, well, they give you a poster map, a double-sided poster map, and it's going to have the city of Greyhawk on one side, and it's going to have the eastern part of the Flanace. I never know how you pronounce that word, Flanace, which is kind of like part of one of Greyhawk's 4 continents on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, this is one of those nods back to old school stuff. They're doing this. I'm seeing this everywhere. So we're seeing like old school dragon on the cover. We're seeing Greyhawk having a chapter. We're seeing the D&D cartoon, 1980s D&D cartoon adventurers. Pictures of them.
It makes sense to me because it's the 50th anniversary, so having some nostalgia and looking back to the roots feels like quite a natural thing to do when you're coming up to a big anniversary.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Vecna is a big old tour of old settings, isn't it?
Yeah.
The adventure coming up, which is kind of almost a sort of like clip show. Clip show. That's the word I meant, isn't it? Like when like sitcoms do a clip show at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. It's like revisiting all the old haunts and.
Yes, right. In that sort of sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Remember berries, I think, is the word.
Remember berries? What?
Remember berries. It's like when like fan service. It's sort of like it's full of. You remember this, don't you? You remember that?
Oh right,
that sort of thing. And just dropping things in. Remember berries, they're called.
To remind long-term fans of the show about what they liked at the time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that is interesting. More tidbits. Pieces of information. Other art includes people like Racing and Karaman Majere.
I have never heard that. Yeah, I suppose that I you know what, that might actually be the way to say it. I've always said Majere.
I always used to say Majere, but just recently I listened to the audiobook of the new
Dragonlance.
The second of the new Dragonlance trilogy, and that's how the narrator pronounced it all the way through. So I decided, okay. I'm sure they know better than me, so I'll go with it.
I am.
But I always said Majere as well. I did as well. Literally up until like 2 weeks ago.
Because that's how it's spelled. Yeah.
Because English has very consistent pronunciation and spelling.
Yeah. Well, species in the player's handbook include the Azamar, the Goliath, and the Orc.
Right, not a half-orc, an actual
I think we did hear that before, actually. I think someone mentioned it before.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much the standard nowadays. So.
Yeah, they're dropping half-orc and half-elf.
Good.
So, presumably that means there'll be one extra. So half-orc's replaced with orc, half-orc, half-elf's dropped, and we've got Azamar and Goliath.
Presumably there'll be some way to recreate half-orcs and half-elves and so forth.
I don't know.
I can personally tell you it's a very popular subject.
I imagine there'd be. You could do mixed. They're not calling it heritages, are they? What are they calling it?
Mixed species.
Yeah.
Hybrids.
Yeah, mixed species sounds a bit like. Yeah, it sounds like they're made in a lab, doesn't it?
Well, that's the problem. They are technically species.
Yeah, I know. I'm not against the word, but I just when you say it like that, it's.
I'm not sure we're moving from moving away from using race has led to a better alternative with species. As we start talking,
they played with lineage for a while and they dropped it.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't keep that.
Maybe it didn't test well. Who knows?
Yeah, Cobalt Pressing should pick that up quite happily. So yeah.
Yeah, well, like we were saying last week, there's about 6 different words, all which basically refer to the same game mechanic, and various companies all use them interchangeably.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, I don't know, Homo neanderthalis and Homo fiorensis. Like, we have no context for having literal different species of humanity to bum around with.
Yeah. Anyway, what else we got? We got Bastions, player-built bases are in. Do you remember the playtest for that?
Yeah.
In Unearthed Arcana, probably last year at some point.
Yeah, I vaguely recall hearing about it. I'm struggling to recall any details about it, but
I'm sure we covered it. I can't remember.
We did.
Anyway.
I remember talking about it because when I always like the idea of having a bastion or something in the game, but I don't ever end up when I've had the opportunity to have one, I haven't ended up interacting or using it that much. Like, but if as a player in session 0, you're like, what you're interested in, I'm thinking about this element, and I'll be like, yeah, 100%, because I did this, and then it was given to us, and we didn't do anything
I think if the campaign involves it, that will work. I mean, partly that's on the GM a little. I think
it was.
You kind of need to bring it in.
It was really served on a plate to us, and we just didn't really.
And you just didn't.
We just didn't and it really was part of the story and integrated, and we're like, oh yeah, this sounds really cool. Looking forward to doing that. Didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, goblins raid your stronghold or something like that. That would kind of force you to, then, wouldn't it?
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
Whenever I've been given the opportunity, I haven't ended up engaging much with it, is what I can say. And I wonder how true that is. Maybe that's not true for other people, but a lot of people I've spoken to, we really like the ideas of strongholds and bastions and things like that. But it's it doesn't end up getting used that much. But
fair enough. Well, so we got some news about the monster manual. There's
going to be a lot of monsters.
The manual of monsters.
Over 500 monsters in that manual.
Over 500, 75 of which are new.
Ooh.
New monsters. The challenge rating system's remaining the same. I thought I'd heard that they were tweaking that, but apparently they're not.
Maybe that's to do with compatibility?
I guess it must be, yeah.
Because if you change it now, then you can't really say it's the same game, it's completely compatible.
So Mike Merles, who was let go from Wizards at the end of last year in that round of layoffs. And he was one of the 5e sort of head honchos before he got moved over to Magic the Gathering. Talked a little bit about that when he left. He made a few little posts. He came onto my site, actually, and made some posts because he was designing a replacement for the challenge rating system.
Nice.
And so basically he said, at the time when they were designing 5e, everyone kind of knew that the challenge rating system, which was kind of inherited from 3e, wasn't great. And they kicked around the ideas of going with a totally different approach to measuring sort of encounter balance and things like that. But they decided that, like, the continuity and so forth, that they'd stick with, the thing that people knew. It was like a deliberate choice at the time, and that perhaps they weren't necessarily going with the best option at the time, but they were going with the most familiar one.
The advice in the Dungeons Master's Guide is supposed to be what they were using in 3rd edition 3.5 to balance encounters.
It's not exactly the same. It's kind of inspired by
Right. Okay. That
3.5 was a much more mechanically.
Yes.
Like Pathfinder, it's a lot easier to do that stuff in 3.5 because it's so much more nuts and boltsy.
Mechanically complete, let's say. There was less emphasis on the rulings, not rules, which was the large selling point of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, or the design philosophy. Yeah, okay.
But then again, I would say in 3e, probably there are a lot more things that characters could do, which probably makes stuff more unpredictable and harder to balance. So I don't know, maybe it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, possibly. I do find when I'm trying to design encounters that having a solid lookup table is one of my favourite things to do. I'm like, what do I need? Oh, here we are. Look it up. Yeah, maximums, minimums, what I need. Sure, and I'm done. That makes me very happy, Russ.
Yeah.
I'm easily pleased.
Well, you can thank Paul Hughes for that.
I do.
Yeah. So what else we got? So challenge ratings remaining the same. They are also, though, introducing some different challenge rating versions of things.
Such as vampires.
So the different types of monsters can be used at different tiers. So, for example, they said with vampires, the standard stock vampire in D&D, they've added a lower challenge vampire, so you can bring it into your game earlier, and a higher challenge one, which they're calling the Nightbringer.
Nice. So, ideas you can have just scalability for your monsters.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose they already had vampire spawn as well, didn't they? So
yeah, but there's different lore around that and things. So
yeah,
it's interesting that you've got like the different things. I mean, certainly one of the things which Paizo's Pathfinder 2's Defenders, which I find very interesting, do point out, is that you could have a boss monster in the first couple of levels, then becomes like a mook by the time you or it goes through a progress of being boss monster to regular encounter to like just a mook, like say a fire giant or something,
Yeah.
has you level up. So, and that is that's a good thing, which I can see. I mean, not 100% convinced you can't do the same thing with say a 5th edition monster, but but it'd just be a bit weird.
Yeah. But still, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
This again, 384 pages. They're all 3 books, 384 pages. Think about a blob of annihilation. This looks fun.
Yeah, I know.
This is basically a gelatinous cube that's so big it can eat towns.
What do you do about that? How do you fight that? Like, what's the approach there?
Yeah, it's like
You unleash your pet Tarasques.
40 diameter fireballs are just going to be like, okay, good, you destroyed the area the size of a house.
It feels like it's a
I'm into a
tsunami.
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
An oozed army.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in February when we see the blob of annihilation and how you defeat it.
Yeah.
It does have a cool name.
I do.
Blob of annihilation.
I like the concept of them being in the world as like a looming threat, because it's like, there's a town and it's going that way, so it's like, do you have to redirect it and stop it getting to the town? Is that the tactic?
How do you redirect it?
I don't know, like, what's his favourite snack? Just get, like, a really good cheese?
Towns, apparently.
Oh, that's just what I head, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There does not appear to be any blog of annihilation. So
Ooh,
Taking
someone
that
needs
to
someone
dress,
needs to do
PJ,
that
get
now.
on that.
Quickly,
no,
get on that fast.
I'm okay, thank you. But yeah, for some people, I can imagine this is exciting. So you should get.
Maybe I'll do that, but then I'll have to write a blog.
Yeah, no,
can't
you're
do
too
that.
busy. As your business manager,
I
I'm going
can't
to
be
say
bothered to write a
no.
blog.
I've got loads of jobs for you already that need doing.
You can't.
Yeah.
slide
If you
this
haven't got enough
creativity.
work, I've got plenty for you. Don't worry.
Believe me, I am still in the weeds on Void Runner. What other new... Oh, could we 2 new monsters, the Elemental Juggernaut and the Arch Hag, were another couple of monsters mentioned.
I like the idea of an arch hag. I like hags. I
Well,
empathise
I guess
with
an
their
Arch Hag
plight.
is either a very, very powerful hag or just a hag that's, like, very sarcastic. One of those two.
Either work.
A drag
Either
hag.
works.
I'm happy
Yeah.
with either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably about it. That's about it for the D&D news. That was quite a lot of news.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It'll come out, and I'm sure I will see articles, video posts. Probably cover it on this podcast.
It's getting closer. It's like, what is it now? It's May, June, July, August. It's 4 months away.
Yeah.
16 weeks. So we've got Eve of Ruin, which is coming out shortly, May the 31st, although a lot of people have it now who pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
Player's Handbook is on September the 17th. But before that, we got Quest from the Infinite Staircase, which is July the 16th.
Right.
So we got May, July, September, and October. I think, is it October or is it November? No, it's November for the DMG. So 4 more books coming out this year, big hardcover books in the next 6 months.
Wow. That's a lot. Working overtime.
Yeah. And that is it. That is the news. We've done the news.
The news happened.
There's no more news. However, we do have a Kickstarter launching in a couple of weeks. The coming soon page is up. It's the Void Runners Codex. It's a sci-fi boxed set for 5e and Advanced 5th Edition. And it's going to be amazing.
So if you want D&D in space with actual starship combat, there you go.
3 books, Void Runners Codex, Star Captain's Manual, and Escape from Death Planet, which is an adventure to go with it.
If you missed it last week, of course, we did do quite a dive
We did.
into the details.
That we did.
I thought I'd give Rest of Jess a week off, and unless something more interesting happens, I'll probably ask them in great detail about starships and this Escape from Death Planet adventure, maybe next week.
I know quite a lot about starships.
Do you?
It's one of my favourite things is a starship.
That's true.
I'll let Russ answer those questions because I don't know much about the Starship book because I haven't finished reading it or anything.
There you go,
yet.
zoom, zoom.
Yeah, like I'm aware of the concept, but I haven't actually been involved with that book at all. So, right,
Groovy.
let's go have a
I
weekend.
think we're done then.
Yeah, let's go have a
I
weekend.
think we are done. See you next week.
Very well.
Bye bye.
Apparently I now have to read this to you.
This is the official podcast of Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG news, which you can find at enworld.org. You can find show notes at morrus.podbean.com or wherever you found the podcast. If you feel like they deserve it, you can support the show on Patreon. In return, you will receive exclusive bonus content. Just go to patreon.com/Morrus. If you're interested in his babbling nonsense, you can follow at Morrus on the Twitter. Send your emails to morruspodcast@gmail.com. Not all of your emails, just the ones you want us to see. That's it. I'm bored now. You can go away. Shoo, off you go. Goodbye. Get out of here.
I'm being mauled by a dog. Stop it. Yes, no, you're not interested in players' handbooks. Come on, go away.
But they taste so nice.
Yeah.